I remember the smell of the flowers I had ordered for the wedding. White roses, her favorite. My suit hung perfectly pressed. My vows scribbled in a notebook worn from being read and rewritten. For years, I had saved. Every late night overtime, every skipped luxury, tucked into one account for the most important day of our lives. But days before our wedding, my fiancée disappeared. At first I thought, nerves. Maybe she needed a moment to breathe. But as hours turned into days, my calls went straight to voicemail. My messages sat unread. Our joint bank account, where I'd funneled every dream, was drained. Every cent. I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, wondering what kind of person could walk away from love like it had been nothing but a costume to wear until it became inconvenient. And a darker suspicion began whispering the truth I didn't want to face. When the shock dulled, memory started working against me. I remembered her sudden secretive habits. Closing her laptop when I walked into the room, claiming late nights at work, but coming home without exhaustion in her eyes. Her best friend, usually warm and talkative, suddenly couldn't look me in the eye in the weeks before the wedding. I brushed it off back then. I didn't want to be the paranoid groom. But standing in my silent, cold apartment, I realized the truth. This wasn't second thoughts or fear. No, this was deliberate. A fiancé vanishing with the money? That was no accident. It was betrayal, carefully plotted and cleanly executed. I had to know just how deep the knife had been driven. I sat at the computer, sweat slippery on my palms, and opened our bank account. The numbers hit me like a hammer. Zero balance. The last transaction. A total withdrawal by her. My stomach turned. There was no misunderstanding possible. She had drained years of savings, the fund for our vows, our home, our future. I confided in my best friend, hoping for comfort. Instead, his words tore away my denial. If she emptied the account, man, she isn't coming back. That reality clawed at me. It wasn't just abandonment. I had been stripped of dignity, love, and trust in one cruel stroke. But as pain gave way to dawning fury, I realized something. If she thought she could vanish without consequence, she was going to be proven dead wrong. Fueled with anger, I dug deeper. I called her office. The receptionist casually told me she'd quit weeks ago. Social media? Vanished, profile wiped clean like she'd never existed. Digging further, whispers reached me. She'd been seen around town with another man, laughing carefree while I sat in torment. My chest burned with rage. If I didn't find the truth, I would drown in paranoia. So, I brought in a private investigator. Within days, I held photographs in my shaking hands. Her, smiling, in another man's arms. Champagne bottles glistening, exotic hotels in the background. All of it paid for with the money I had bled myself dry to save. Each picture shattered another illusion. But alongside the agony came grim satisfaction. Now the pieces of her deceit were no longer rumor. They were evidence. And with evidence, I had power. At first, revenge consumed me in fantasy. I thought about confronting her in person, screaming, demanding she return every stolen cent. But then clarity struck. Why give her that satisfaction? Why let her hear the sound of my broken voice? Instead, I sharpened my revenge like a blade. I gathered the photos, the bank statements, the lies documented in black and white. And then I wrote one single text. Not to her, but to her mother. Congratulations on your daughter's honeymoon. Shame the groom wasn't invited. I attached every shred of evidence. Every photo. Every receipt. Every proof of betrayal. It wasn't just about exposing her. It was about stripping away the shield of excuses and lies she used to cloak herself. Sending it wasn't weakness, it was power. She had stolen my money, but I had stolen her ability to keep the truth hidden. The explosion was instant. Her mother called me within the hour, sobbing, her voice breaking as she asked if what she was seeing was true. And then came the frantic texts from my supposed fiancé, messages begging for me to answer, crumbling in desperation. Finally, she called. Weak. Panicked. Her voice trembled, trying to hold itself together with excuses. I was overwhelmed. I needed time. The money, it wasn't like that. We were just taking a break. But every sentence shattered against the mountain of evidence I had. Calmly, I listed it all back to her. The withdrawals, the photographs, the lies about her late nights, the resignation from work long before she vanished. She stammered, denied, then stuttered into silence. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I spoke with icy calm. The kind that comes when all illusions are burned away, and all that's left is clarity. Her sobs cracked on the line. In that moment, she finally realized she wasn't the thief in control anymore. She was the one cornered, exposed before everyone who mattered. Within days, her family cut contact with her. The same relatives who were excitedly RSVPing to our wedding now looked at her with shame. Friends whispered, disgust replacing admiration. She thought she'd escaped into paradise with another man. But paradise turned into scandal, her reputation crumbling as fast as the lies she told. Meanwhile, I didn't chase. I didn't beg. I let the wreckage speak for itself. My life had been blown apart, yes, but the dignity she had tried to steal burned brighter than ever. She lost her facade. And I gained back my self-respect. I look back now, not with bitterness but with understanding. She took my money, but her betrayal was a down payment on my resilience. She thought she'd broken me beyond repair, but all she did was save me from a lifetime chained to a liar. The greatest revenge, I've realized, isn't yelling or even shaming her. It's living freely, stronger, untethered to her greed. She gambled loyalty for lust and greed. And in the end, she lost it all. As for me, I walked away with my self-worth intact. And that's worth far more than any stolen wedding fund.